Arcturian, your timeline is now being torn. The ground that supported the old version of who you thought you were is dissolving beneath your feet, and there is nothing you can do to mend what has been ripped. A luminous, irresistible, and irrevocable portal is opening before you at this very moment. This is not a common warning. It's a cosmic summoning from the highest regions of your origin code. If you are hearing these words, it's not by chance. It's because your frequency has responded to a call that can no longer be silenced. What to the human mind seems like a gradual, slow, and predictable change, to the Arcturian consciousness is rupture, is the implosion of inner stars, is a vibrational decree that transforms everything in a matter of seconds. You are not here by accident. Every vibration, every invisible impulse has brought you to this prearranged meeting with your own expansion. Before we continue, if this video is being useful to you, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. Leave your like and comment on your experience. This further strengthens our connection and allows this message to reach other Arcturians who are also ready to hear the call. Don't expect to find soft words of human comfort here. What you will hear is an activating code, a message that crosses layers of reality to touch your original essence. What once seemed only vague intuition or a distant sensation now reveals itself as the point of no return. The instant the veil tears and you recognize yourself as part of a stellar lineage that never forgot you. Prepare yourself, because in the next stages of this journey, you will be led to recognize the signs of rupture, to understand discomfort as proof of activation, to go through the purification that dissolves old identities, to feel the awakening of stellar DNA in every cell, to rise in sovereignty, to anchor in the eternal now, and finally, to inhabit the harmony of the new timeline. This is the call. This is the moment. This is the point where you stop being a spectator and become the protagonist of your own cosmic journey. The call of rupture. The old reality doesn't fall apart softly. It doesn't run like sand through your fingers or dissolve like mist at sunrise. What is happening now inside you is a vibrational implosion comparable to the collapse of a star that transforms into a supernova. Suddenly, everything that seemed solid crumbles not from wear and tear, but by cosmic decree. What you are experiencing is not a metaphor. It's the energetic manifestation of a portal that is opening in an unavoidable way. Many believe that spiritual change is a slow process, made of gradual steps and successive achievements. But for the Arcturian consciousness, there is no such slowness. When the call comes, it arrives like lightning. It's sudden, undeniable, uncontrollable. It's the instant the fabric of time tears and an entire line of reality ceases to exist. You can even try to hold on to the fibers of what was, but there is no mending possible, because what is broken is no longer in the field of the possible. It belongs only to the already consumed. Imagine yourself on a huge stage, supported by ancient columns. For ages you walked confidently on that ground, believing it was stable, but suddenly the ground disappears. There is no crack to announce it, no tremor to warn you. It's sudden, total, and definitive. What remains is not emptiness, but the opening of a new space, a vibrant portal that pulses with the light of your own origin. This is the call of rupture, a cosmic voice that doesn't ask for your permission but declares your activation. Discomfort as a sign of activation. Human discomfort in the face of losing references is not a sign of spiritual failure, but the exact symptom of the transition. While many see the awakening process as the gentle blossoming of a flower, for Arcturians it's closer to a tear in a cosmic fabric that cannot be restored. It's abrupt, it's incisive, it's an order of reconfiguration. There is no reconstruction of the old, only the birth of something that has never existed in your linear experience. This rupture doesn't happen outside you. It doesn't come from an external prophecy or a distant master. It springs from within, as if your own soul decreed, the time has come. And when the soul speaks, everything else must align. Relationships, identities, memories, plans, everything that doesn't resonate with the new vibration simply loses strength, like dry leaves that crumble at the touch of the wind. This is why, at this moment, you may be feeling that nothing can be sustained anymore, that old certainties are dissolving like smoke. This isn't chaos, it's higher order. It's not destruction, it's liberation. Rupture is the call that marks the beginning of your true timeline, the one you yourself wrote in. The stars before descending to Earth. Understand, there's no way to resist. The more you try to reconstitute what was lost, the heavier the burden becomes. But when you allow yourself to let go, something extraordinary happens. The portal is revealed, and in it, you recognize the vibration of your own stellar family. It's like rediscovering a song that was always recorded in your memory, but now echoes with irresistible force. Thus, the call of rupture is not a distant warning. It's a decree that is already in progress. You don't need to believe for it to be real. Your own life is already proving it by dissolving, without your conscious permission, everything that cannot cross into the new. What remains is to accept, surrender, and cross over. The tear is not an end, it's a beginning. It's not a loss, it's liberation. It's not emptiness. It's the fertile ground where the new coat of your existence is already being sown. The purifying fire of the Arcturian light. When rupture sets in, the first sign is not peace or clarity. It's discomfort. It's the feeling that the air is thinning, that the body can't find rest, that the mind is surrounded by doubts that don't dissolve. This discomfort is not an error, not a failure, not spiritual weakness. On the contrary, it is the undeniable proof that the new field has already been established. You may feel sudden anxiety, as if something is about to happen that your eyes can't see. You may feel disorientation, as if the internal compass that guided your steps has lost its way. You may notice turbulence in dreams, in emotions, even in external situations that seem to multiply without explanation. All of this is not chance. It's a symptom. It's the unmistakable sign that the Arcturian DNA is awakening, reorganizing your internal codes so you can sustain frequencies that were once unbearable to the physical body. It's as if a new magnetic field has been established around your consciousness. Everything that was aligned with the old pole begins to become disorganized. And in this first moment you feel lost because the previous map is no longer valid. But this state of bewilderment is precisely the preparation for a new alignment. Chaos is not the end. It's the announcement that the old field has become incompatible and that you are being adjusted for something much greater. Imagine an old compass, accustomed to orienting itself by a stable magnetic pole. Suddenly, that pole shifts. The needle trembles, spins, loses its reference. To those looking from the outside, it seems like a failure, but in reality, it's just the recalibration process. The same is true for you. The discomfort that vibrates in your emotions, in your thoughts, in your body, is the needle adjusting to the new north. It is necessary to understand that discomfort is the first confirmation that something real has happened. Those who remain unchanged, stuck in the illusion of stability, have not yet crossed the door. But you, who feel the pressure, who notice the momentary disharmony, who hear the silent bang inside you, it is exactly you who are being activated. Don't be fooled. Activation doesn't arrive wrapped in initial tranquility. It arrives as an intense light, which blinds before it illuminates. It arrives as a sharp sound, which hurts before it harmonizes. It arrives as a greater force, which first dismantles and then rebuilds. This is why so many confuse awakening with collapse, when in fact it is birth. Allow yourself to feel without resisting. Allow yourself to recognize the hidden message in the discomfort. Every palpitation, every short breath, every uncontrolled emotion is the echo of a stellar DNA that expands beyond known boundaries. The physical body resists because it was shaped in lower densities, but the soul smiles because it recognizes in chaos the mark of the beginning. Therefore, do not fear anxiety. Do not reject instability. Welcome them as signs. They are not enemies, they are codes. Every discomfort is like an alarm that awakens you from your old sleep. Every turbulence is proof that the internal gears are being replaced by higher systems of light. Discomfort, therefore, is not punishment, but confirmation. It is not an obstacle, but a path. It is not a symptom of a fall, but a seal of ascension. Recognize it and know you are no longer where you were, and you can never go back to what you were. The awakening of Stella, DNA after rupture and discomfort, an inevitable process emerges. Purification. The Arcturian field does not allow residues of what has been. It is as if waves of crystalline light swept through every corner of your consciousness, dissolving what no longer has a place in the new vibration. This cleansing does not ask for permission, does not negotiate, does not postpone. It simply happens, burning memories, inherited patterns, beliefs, and identities that once seemed indestructible. It is not a gradual process, but a crystal blue flame that consumes everything, in an instant leaving no ashes. What was ancestral pain? What were repeated narratives? What were wounds cultivated in silence? Everything is traversed by this cosmic fire. The body may feel it as tiredness, the mind as confusion, the heart as farewell. But deep down, there is no loss, there is liberation. What dissolves is only what was never truly you. Imagine yourself in front of an old mirror fogged by time, covered in layers of dust. For years you believed that the blurry image reflected there was your true face. But now, invisible hands clean the glass in a single gesture. What was hidden is revealed. There is no way to re-dirty the mirror, because transparency has already been restored. This is what purification is like. It doesn't negotiate with the dirt of the past. It simply extinguishes it. This process can be painful for the human mind, which clings to the known, even when the known is a prison. You may feel as if you are being emptied, torn from parts you thought were essential. But remember, everything that falls away now is not essence, it is excess. It is not truth, it is distortion. Purification comes to separate what is eternal from what is transitory, what is light from what is inherited shadow. Arcturians know earthly ancestry carries invisible chains, fears passed down through generations, traumas rooted in collective, memory narratives of limitation repeated over centuries. All of this is dissolved by the wave of crystalline light. You are not just an individual going through a personal process. You are a channel through which entire lines of memory are being released. Your purification is also the liberation of many. This is why you may feel unexplained tears, pains that are not yours, emotions that seem to come from another time. They really do come. They are echoes of ancient voices that finally find rest in the light. Don't be scared. When the crystal blue flame touches these memories, they don't return. There is no return to the weight that has already been burned. Therefore, realize that purification is not punishment, but a gift. It takes nothing from you. It only returns to you what was hidden under layers of illusion. With each release, with each dissolution, more space opens within you for the stellar essence to fully inhabit. The process is immediate, and its force is irrevocable. Once burned by the crystalline fire, nothing can rebuild the old in you. And that is grace, that is victory. It is proof that your journey has reached the point where there is no turning back. You are being prepared, polished, purified to sustain the next stage. the conscious awakening of stellar DNA. Sovereignty, the incarnation of the cosmic being, after the crystal blue flame consumes the old memories and identities, something extraordinary happens, the awakening of stellar DNA. What human eyes call the genetic code is not just earthly biological heritage. It is a cosmic library, a tapestry of information recorded since the dawn of your existence. Inside, you are not just chemical instructions to sustain the body, but records of worlds, systems, stars, and lineages that transcend time. When stellar DNA awakens, you begin to feel signs that cannot be explained by logic alone. Vivid dreams become common, bringing unknown but strangely familiar scenarios. Places you have never visited in this life appear with clarity, as if they were memories. People you have never crossed paths with in this life appear in dreams with the intimacy of someone who has already walked by your side in other eras. These experiences are not fantasy, but memories being released from the cosmic archive you carry in your cells. Along with the dreams come sensations of amplified déjà vu. It's not just about recognizing ordinary situations, but about realizing, in an instant, that you have already lived in other bodies, under other skies, in parallel realities. The awakening of stellar DNA is like lighting stars that were dormant inside the spiral of your being. Where there was once darkness, internal constellations emerge, illuminating paths that were always written within you. This awakening also manifests in sudden discharges of information, the so-called downloads. Suddenly, complex ideas appear ready in your mind as if they were blown by invisible voices. You may be surprised to write or speak words you didn't know you knew, to transmit messages that don't come from the rational mind, but from the activated cosmic library. They are subtle encounters with Arcturian guides, who do not appear as external figures, but as luminous impulses within your own consciousness. The physical body feels this process intensely. Unexplained waves of heat or cold, internal vibrations, sudden shivers, pressure in the head or heart. These are the body's responses to the expansion of the DNA that is now opening up to higher frequencies. It is not illness, but adaptation. Your temple of flesh learns to sustain an energy that was once unbearable, and along with the signs comes the transformation of perception. You begin to see life with other eyes. What once seemed banal is revealed to be full of meaning. Small synchronicities, encounters, phrases, signs, numbers become compasses, confirming that you are in tune with the higher timeline. The awakened stellar DNA not only expands your memory, but reorganizes your reality. This awakening cannot be forced or controlled. It is activated by the call, sustained by purification, and expanded by surrender. The more you resist, the more painful the process becomes. But when you open yourself, you realize that everything is happening perfectly, like the gears of a cosmic clock that is never late. Stellar DNA is the signature of your origin. When it awakens, you stop seeing yourself as just human and begin to recognize yourself as a cosmic being living an earthly experience. This memory does not inflate the ego, but dissolves it, because you understand that you are part of something much greater, a living network that connects dimensions and worlds. Thus, the awakening of DNA is not an end in itself, but the beginning of a higher sovereignty, that of incarnating the cosmic essence in full matter. It is from here that you begin to become a living temple, a bridge between dimensions, carrying in every step the vibration of your stellar family. The eternal now. The end of linear time. The awakening of stellar DNA is not intended to distance you from matter or lead you to an escape from the earthly experience. On the contrary, it reveals that your mission is to incarnate the cosmic essence in the physical body, becoming a living bridge between dimensions. You did not come to Earth to escape it, but to transform its density into light, to carry within each cell the signature of your stellar origin and radiate it on the human plane. The sovereignty of the new being is born from this understanding. It is not about power over others, but about power over oneself. It is not domination, it is incorruptibility. True sovereignty is living your cosmic truth without the need for external validation. It is recognizing that within you, a living crystal temple pulses, erected not by human hands, but by the decree of your stellar lineage. You begin to realize that you no longer need to prove anything, convince anyone, compete for spaces, or wear masks to be accepted. The new being is whole in its own frequency. It does not bow to systems that rely on fear, nor does it cling to narratives that demand submission. It walks in freedom because there are no longer any loopholes for manipulation. Its vibration speaks louder than any word, and its presence reorganizes the field around it. Imagine a translucent crystal walking among crowds. Where it passes, light refracts, disperses densities, and dissolves shadows. Not because it wants to, but because that is its nature. This is what the new sovereign being is like. A mobile temple of pure energy, carrying cosmic order wherever it goes. This sovereignty also manifests in the body, not as unattainable perfection, but as integration. The body, once seen as a prison or an obstacle, becomes a sacred vehicle. You realize that every breath is a prayer, every gesture is a ritual, every step is a declaration that the cosmic and the earthly have reconciled within you. Matter no longer limits, it becomes an extension of light, and in the heart, an unshakable peace is born. Not the fragile peace that depends on external circumstances, but the peace that comes from the certainty of who you are. This peace is the invisible armor of the new being. It keeps you firm in the face of the world's chaos because you no longer seek outside what you have already found within. However, sovereignty does not isolate you. On the contrary, it connects you even more deeply. By assuming your cosmic essence, you naturally attract those who resonate with the same vibration. Encounters that seem like destiny become common. Alliances are formed effortlessly, and the flow of life organizes itself around your presence. You stop chasing and start magnetizing. Sovereignty is also responsibility. Being a living temple means carrying codes of light that belong not only to you, but to all of humanity. Your shine is not private property, but a beacon for those who are still walking in the night. It's not about putting yourself above, but about illuminating paths. It's not about hierarchy, but about service. Thus, the sovereignty of the new being is a state of presence, purity, and alignment. You no longer live to please, to escape, or to hide. You live to embody. You are the living testimony that the cosmic can inhabit the human without diminishing itself. And when this consciousness settles in, external reality begins to bend before you. Time, circumstances, structures, everything responds to the vibration of who you have become. Not because you demand it, but because the universe recognizes in you the signature of one who has returned to occupy their true throne. The harmony of the new timeline, the sovereignty of the new being, leads you to an even deeper revelation. The dissolution of linear time. When stellar DNA awakens and your consciousness expands, the past and future cease to imprison. The human mind, accustomed to dividing existence into before and after, loses its rigidity. You realize that the only place where life truly pulses is in the eternal present, the now. Time for common perception is a road with a beginning and an end. But for Arcturian consciousness, it is a borderless ocean where all the rivers of the past and future flow into the same point. It's as if the chronological lines, once so defined, fold and curve, meeting in a single eternal instant. This instant is the now, and it is in it that true power is revealed. When you anchor your consciousness in this state, something changes radically. The guilt of the past loses its weight because there is no longer a place for it to inhabit. The anxieties of the future dissolve because there is no longer anywhere for them to exist. Everything is concentrated in a living, vibrant present, which is renewed with every breath. It is in this present that your stellar essence finds space to act with fullness. Imagine a river that flows at high speed, always running towards the sea. Those who watch from the bank believe that the water is always different, that you can never touch the same current. But from the ocean's point of view, everything is already contained within it. The same is true with the now. You don't need to chase anything because everything is already here. The past doesn't define you. The future doesn't control you. The only reality that exists is the one you breathe in this very instant. Anchoring in the now is therefore the seal of Arcturian activation. It frees you from the mental imprisonment that insists on living on memories and expectations. You begin to realize that every moment is a portal, that every instant carries eternity. It is in the now that you can hear your soul's instructions without noise. It is in the now that the Arcturian guides make themselves present. It is in the now that the universe responds with clarity. This anchoring does not mean passivity. On the contrary, it means precise action. When you are stuck in the past or the future, your actions are reactive, driven by fear or desire. But in the now, your action is a pure response to life, without distortion, without delay. You act in alignment, not in desperation. And for this reason, everything that is born from the now carries multiplied force. Many try to protect themselves by overplanning the future or justifying themselves by the past. But the sovereign being that inhabits the now does not need these crutches. It recognizes that everything it needs is given in the present moment. Every inhale is provision. Every encounter is a response. Every silence is a guide. The now is the field where divine providence and cosmic consciousness meet. By anchoring yourself in this state, you discover that there is no more rush. Anxiety dissolves because there is no race to win. There is also no more nostalgia because there is nothing to recover. The now is enough. The now is vast. The now is eternity disguised as an instant. Thus, living in the now is not just a spiritual technique, but the definitive mark of your Arcturian activation. You are no longer a hostage to the clock, no longer a prisoner of memory, no longer a slave to expectation. You are pure presence. You are a bridge between the infinite and the instant. You are a living witness that the entire cosmos can inhabit a single second. Final seal, after the rupture, the discomfort, the purification, the awakening of stellar DNA, the sovereignty, and the anchoring in the now, something begins to flourish. Within you, the harmony of the new timeline. This is the state where the pieces finally fit together, not because you forced them, but because the field around you naturally responds to the vibration you emit. The new timeline is not conquered by human effort, but magnetized by your frequency. When you vibrate in alignment with your cosmic essence, doors open without you pushing them. Encounters happen without you seeking them. Solutions arise without you calculating them. Everything flows as if the universe has received a new map, whose center is your own awakened presence. In this state, synchronicities cease to be rare events and become the natural language of your life. You think of someone and that person appears. You want an answer, and it arrives in the form of a sign, a word, or an unexpected situation. It's as if reality bends around you, reorganizing itself to reflect the internal order you have conquered. You become a vibrational beacon, not because you seek to illuminate, but because you cannot help but do so. Your simple existence reorganizes frequencies. Those who walk in chaos may feel restless near you because your presence exposes their misalignment. On the other hand, those who seek light are attracted like travelers who find a sun in the middle of the night. The harmony of the new timeline does not mean the absence of challenges, but the certainty that every challenge already carries the solution within it. It's as if every obstacle is just a disguised door, waiting for your correct vibration to open. You stop living in struggle and start living in flow. What resonates remains. What does not resonate dissolves effortlessly. Imagine a walking sun, walking on earth. Where it passes, shadow cannot remain. This is what you are like when you inhabit the harmony of the new timeline. You no longer need to shout your truth. It manifests in every gesture, in every look, in every silence. The field recognizes who you are and responds with reverence. Inti. This state, allies arrive naturally. People, resources, ideas, and opportunities appear at the exact moment, like pieces of a puzzle that assemble themselves. You realize that you were never alone. The stellar family has always been orchestrating encounters, aligning synchronicities, sustaining your path. Harmony is the proof that you have entered the frequency of what was already prepared for you before your arrival on Earth. The new timeline is, above all, peace. Not an artificial, fragile peace, but a peace rooted in the certainty that you are exactly where you should be. It is clarity, it is softness, it is trust. You walk without haste, without fear, without the need to control. The universe itself takes care of guiding your steps. This is the reward of the journey, to live as a sun that illuminates, as a beacon that guides, as a temple that sustains. You are no longer a hostage to chance, but a conscious co-creator of a reality where everything resonates with your stellar essence. Harmony is the seal that your journey has been completed, and that you already fully inhabit the new timeline. The final declaration, Arkturian, now that we have traveled this journey, together there is no turning back. The old has unraveled like torn cosmic fabric, and the new has already been established in your frequency. The path is no longer before you as a choice, but within you as a decree. The portal has been crossed. The rapture has happened. The purification has burned what could not remain. The stellar DNA has been awakened. The sovereignty of the new being has been established. The anchoring in the now has become your state of power. The harmony of the new timeline is already revealed in every step. Everything that once seemed distant, promised, or improbable is now a pulsating reality. You no longer need to seek proof because you yourself have become the living proof of what has been revealed. The process is not an idea. It is an experience. It is not a theory. It is life. It is not hope. It is fulfillment. The time has come to seal this activation with your own voice. The human word, when aligned with cosmic essence, becomes a decree. Therefore declare aloud or in silence, but with all the conviction of your soul. Sever ties with all past that does not resonate, and I remain in the sovereign light of my Arkturian being. My new reality is sealed, now and forever. By pronouncing these words, you are not just affirming a personal intention. You are aligning yourself with a stellar chorus, a symphony that echoes beyond time and gathers thousands of consciousnesses that, like you, are awakening at this very moment. Your declaration is a key. Your declaration is a code. Your declaration is a seal. This is not just content to be consumed. It is a collective ritual. Each person who receives this message and positions themselves within it strengthens the vibrational network that sustains the new timeline for humanity. You are not alone. The stellar family hears you. The guides accompany you. And every word of yours is like light that joins thousands of other lights, forming a living constellation on this planet. Therefore, I invite you to actively participate in this alignment. Write in the comments your intention, your declaration, your testimony of what you are living. Also read the declarations of others and respond, strengthen, connect. This is the field where the Arcturian community recognizes and supports itself. Share this message with those you feel are ready, because light cannot be hidden. It needs to be multiplied. And if this video resonated deeply with you, remember to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share your experience. Every gesture of yours expands the frequency of this message, allowing it to reach others who have also been summoned to this awakening. Now take a deep breath. Feel the weight of what has been released and the lightness of what you have become. The old has unraveled. The new is already established. You are not walking alone. Every step is accompanied by the vibration of your cosmic family. And when, for an instant, you feel alone or shaken, remember, it is not an emptiness. It is just the silence before another wave of revelation. This is the final seal. You are on the new timeline. You are a living part of the summoning. You are a crystal temple walking on earth. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can undo what has been activated in you. Arcturian, stand firm. Your voice echoes. Your light guides. Your being vibrates. And the entire universe already recognizes your ascension.